So many people today don't like themselves, often, if not always, but often because the things they do are, well, unlikable. Well, there's good news. Jesus can change us. He stands ready and willing to forgive us, to empower us, to make us clean. And Jesus has provided for you and me to be changed into people who truly love and obey Him. This is September 12, and I'm Pastor Virgil Koval, and this is Power to Serve Today, a daily devotional podcast with a mission to help Christians grow strong in Jesus. The title today is The Sabbath and Sanctification, and our text comes from Ezekiel 20, verse 12. Moreover, I also gave them my Sabbaths to be a sign between them and me, that they might know that I am the Lord who sanctifies them. The Lord's Day, mentioned by John in the book of Revelation, was the seventh-day Sabbath. The same day of the week, you see, on which Jehovah rested after the great work of creation. The day which He blessed and sanctified. The Sabbath was sacred to the heart of John and observed by him on the Isle of Patmos, as it was his entire life. John was diligent, you see, to obey the words of God spoken from Mount Horeb, also known as Mount Sinai. For God had said, "Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy." You see, Jesus, the lawgiver, descended upon that barren and rocky mountain to speak His law in the hearing of all the people, that they might be impressed by the grand and awful exhibition of His power and glory, and fear to transgress His commandments. The law of Jehovah was unchangeable, and to illustrate this, Jesus wrote the law in solid rock, immutable and eternal. The Sabbath is indispensable. The Sabbath was and is a time of special communion with Jesus. God has especially set aside and blessed the Sabbath like no other day. The Sabbath is not a time, you see, for buying and selling in the ordinary work of life. It is not a time for entertainment and frivolity, but rather it is a time for rest, for the contemplation of God's love and His law, His redemption and grace. It is a time for family and church, a time for service to others. It is a day to be made a joy for children, a special day with enjoyable activities at church and at home. For you see, the Sabbath is a means of sanctification, because time with Jesus on His special day changes us, causing us to love and obey His beautiful law. Thus, the Sabbath is also a sign of sanctification, a day His followers will cherish, guard, and honor. All who regard the Sabbath as a sign between them and God will exemplify the principles of His government. They will bring into daily practice the laws of His kingdom. Daily it will be their prayer that the sanctification of the Sabbath, that is, the holy presence of the Spirit of Jesus, may rest upon them. Our promise today comes from Isaiah 58:13 and 14. If you turn away your foot from the Sabbath, from doing your pleasure on my holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight, the holy day of the Lord honorable, and shall honor Him, not doing your own ways, nor finding your own pleasure, nor speaking your own words, then you shall delight yourself in the Lord, and I will cause you to ride on the high hills of the earth, and feed you with the heritage of Jacob your father. The mouth of the Lord has spoken. This is Pastor Virgil Koval. As this Friday night approaches, dedicate yourself to keeping the Sabbath as God has commanded us. Read the commandment in Exodus 20:8-11. Ask Jesus to bring the special blessing of the Sabbath, the blessing He Himself proclaimed, to your life, and allow Him to use this blessed 24 hours to change you.